Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Marvel Rivals Championship Season 1 game. We are here in the final 4 series of Asia on PC. This is our lower bracket semi-finals. Tomorrow is our upper bracket finals. The day after our lower brackets, followed by the grand finals. And we are starting off with Legit L versus XOXO01. It is a best of 5. The loser will be eliminated and be forced to try again in Season 2. The winner will be heading on to that lower bracket finals, meaning that they will be in with a shot of making it to the grand finals and will have a guaranteed 3rd place. Legit L, 3 members who have already managed to place 3rd in Season 0. Looking to try and secure it once again. XOXO01, a couple newer players still want to try and make their mark. Wolverine, Namor, Adam Warlock, all going to be banned away here. XO, they've got Spurs, and as such, they're going to protect the magic. They really enjoy leading on magic. Spurs also plays a bit of Spider-Man. They've got some really good options here. Legit L, final ban. They will remove the Winter Soldier. And as such, with Adam Warlock taken away, Bibiak not going to be going on to their own Star-Lord here. They are going to be starting off on the Hela. But Prime has also been given the Hela. And they, on Hela and Winter Soldier, are absolutely terrifying. XO with a scary selection here. Zetha also often banned from that Venom as it's so tough to deal with. Has been let through again. Triple Vanguard for XO by the looks of it on attack, but we'll see how long that continues if they swap out onto anything as they head into that gate opening. Let's introduce the players. Ladies and gentlemen, on the left-hand side, what is essentially your 3rd place team from Season 0, now looking to see if they can achieve that once more. It's Legit L on the defense with Rose fans playing the Lunar Snow. Hardlu Road will be on the Groot, November 24, playing Psylocke. Bibiak will be on the Hela. Ribasuko is playing Magneto, and Seong-Hun will be on the Loki. And on the right-hand side, on attack, it is XOXO01 with Zetha playing the Venom. Silence is playing Magneto. Spurs starting us off on Doctor Strange. Prime on Hela. Behemoth is on the Invisible Woman. And Rester will be playing Loki. Spurs starting on Doctor Strange to portal their team in and then swapping to Spider-Man to flank here. XO, they've shown they have some incredible flanking capabilities. Bibiak already taken down. Venom combo with the Spider-Man point already starting to be captured by XO, but Resto will fall here. Trying to contest it up to the high ground to put some pressure onto Loki. Seong-Hun getting focused down here, but that is going to be Spurs dropping low, but they get away, pick up the map heal, and on the flank, they are dominating right now, looking for that Lunar Snow. And Zetha and Spurs in perfect harmony, just picking target after target after target. Portal comes in from Bibiak with a quick swap off of damage in order to make sure that their team can touch the point and try and hold it on point number 1. Prime gets taken down, but will revive at the BRB as Resta, without a soldier or a Punisher, is still going to be playing that Loki to keep the pressure on the board here. But it looks like Legit L will be able to hold it before a single 3rd is capped. The hyper-aggression, but Bibiak with the quick reactions in the back onto the board. Straggling Prism onto Behemoth, who's immediately going to drop that invisible boundary to try and tag his silence with the Media M. Ribasuko with one of their own. Behemoth and Rose fans both fall, but down goes Ribasuko. Rez with the Seer getting a little bit of extra damage as Prime takes to the sky. November with Dance and the Butterfly from below, cleaning them out here. But Zetha is still tanking. Bibiak will fall. And finally, we're starting to see the pickup for XOXO. They're able to push on through. The attrition is too much. Hardlu Road trying to step up, but they're being absolutely bodied by Team Spider. And XOXO01 with the most aggressive of setups here are sniping through legit L. This is so wild, because I'm coming off on a recording day, the same day that I just saw legit L absolutely cruise through their quarterfinal. And XO are currently hollowing them out like a Halloween pumpkin. Keeping the sustain up. Rose fans trying to give the sustain. November has brought out Star-Lord. Spectacular spin. Silence finishes off Bibiak as they will disengage, but Silence will get taken out in exchange, as does Behemoth. But Behemoth will return at the BRB. Fate of both worlds to allow them to sustain through, but here comes Zetha, piling the pressure on, trying to take out Rose fans. Get slumbered. Feast from the Abyss with the Spidey combo, and they're just so in sync. If I was the kind of person to write shipping fans, like fan stuff, what's the hell's the term? Fan content? Fanfics, that's the word. Down goes Spurs. If I was the kind of person to write fanfics and shipping, it would absolutely be about Spurs and Zetha, as they are just working together so beautifully right now. November, getting out of danger. Getting topped up nice and quickly. Blaster Mirage to try and burst on through. Goddess of Death once again from Bibiak to try and burst on through. Trying to take out Prime, but popped down, picked off. Coming back at the BRB. But now Prime with their own Goddess of Death to potentially turn this round. Focus onto Ribastuco. Media M will block a little bit of this Goddess of Death. Just going to wait out some of it as they get melted through here. Meantime, Spurs still on the back line, the focus, the blow up, Rose fans goes down, and Spurs back into cover to get healed up to full. Bibiak trying to do their best, but Invisible Boundary is likely going to shut this down. Has to drop the Astral Flock to get out of danger here. The Seer to try and burst on through that Invisible Boundary, but they're not really able to capitalize that much. Trying to focus onto Zetha on that Venom, but they're just so strong. Facing the Abyss almost finishes off Rosefan, but they're able to sidestep the majority of the damage here, as Zetha is forced to disengage while they wait for that Symbiotic Resilience to come back off cooldown. Seer coming in from Resta now. And into the backline comes Spurs. Rosefan, goodbye. Galactic Legend from November to try and take out the backline. But the sustain is just too much. The heals, the shields, Blaster Mirage to try and pick up someone. Gets pulled in by the Soul Siphon as Prime picks up another elimination. Behemoth getting the finishing blow. And XOXO01 are pushing in towards point number 3 right now. They've set themselves up magnificently here. Zetha on the flank once again. Prime getting rushed down. Him and his more than enough sustain. Zetha's on the backline, trying to get on Seong-hoon. Focus down. Spurs dropping low. Forced to swing away, get out of danger. Prime will fall, but returns at the BRB, which means there is no BRB available for Spurs right now, but they pick up a Mat Heal instead. And down goes Rose fans. Once again, the burst is just too strong. Seong-hoon will bring them back at the BRB, but that means there's nothing left for November or Asuko as they both fall, and the chain eliminations are coming in right now. Prime takes out Hanlu Road. They get November, they get Asuko, looking for more, trying to get the rocket. But while all this is happening, that cart is creeping forward. Aya Agamotto coming in. Spurs get stunned down, but Invisible Boundary will shut it down. Seer to try and give them one last chance to burst on through. Media M from Asuko to try and turn this. Takes out Spurs. This may be their chance as Legit L are finally starting to get on the board, but November is taken down. Silence with the Media M. Tries to get one. In fact, will get Hanlu Road to try and turn this round. Pushing on through. Trying to hold the line. Seong-hoon chased down. November falls. And XOXO push on through and will claim a triple in round number 1. As the teams begin to swap sides. Game 1 looking very strong for XOXO right now. And what do you do about this? How do you deal with that much burst? Shields is like the obvious answer, and yeah, that was about to say, it might be worth bringing out the Loki, because the regeneration domain does give you basic invulnerability 2 damage while it is active. Yes, the lantern can be destroyed, but it is a turn off Spider-Man button, at least for a moment. Potentially worth ditching the Doctor Strange. Maybe something with a little more protection for the team. Feels weird to say it, but Hulk does have a full team shield. They could get some protection that way. Penny could potentially punish the backline dives. Would be really risky, but if they can land lockdowns, they might be able to stop the assault here. But whatever Legit L do, they do need to change something. Because right now, there is no response coming in to XOXO01. They are snowballing through this round and seem to be in dominant position. You can see a discussion happening in the fact that these picks aren't coming in that quickly.
4, 3, 2,
And here we go. They're sticking with a similar composition here. With Asuko going onto the Strange, Hunlu Road on the Magneto, and Spurs attempted to get a quick off-the-map snipe there, was not able to do so. Map heal, and will back away. We're going to be watching November here. They need to make sure that they are in position with their team here for those regeneration domains. They realize how much danger they're in. If they get dived, immediately stealthing out of there in order to avoid the burst, because that Spider-Venom combo is so terrifying, pulling Magneto out of their team so that they are forced out to the low ground. A little bit of poke. Asuko already on the point. This high ground position is not as safe as I'm sure they would like it to be. Venom starting off with the initial engage, so Rosefan is the target with the Venom combo. And Spurs is out once again. November is focused down. Zetha will fall though. Silence holding the line, trying to drive them back, and Legit L. Bibiak falls. They are down numbers-wise, but they are doing some quite solid attrition here. Down goes Spurs to Rose fans. And Legit L are starting to creep forward, bit by bit, slow and steady. They let the dives happen, but they time it well and made sure they were able to respond in kind. And as such, it looks like they're going to be able to grab point number 1. Venom dives onto the point, going to try and delay this. Zetha forced to swing away though. Leaving just Silence to try and hold this. Looks for Seong-hoon, who dashes away. Aya Magamoto from Asuko. And that's going to guarantee point number 1 getting picked up. Prime Astral Flock trying to get healed up onto Asuko to get us a final blow here. Will get the pickup, but will get eliminated instead. Legit L grab point number 1. They're on the board. They just need 2 more, and they can take us to an overtime. Their adjustment here, bringing out the Loki, seems to be working, at least currently. Spurs on the flank. Looking for an early pickup. Does not find an elimination. Nearly finds a map pull, but unable to get the finishing blow. Another map heal. You see they got half health when they went in here. Zetha going in, retreating here, and they've kind of disjointed here. Spectacular spin, countered by the Fate of Both Worlds. It's the only big healing ultimate for Legit L, but they do have a God of Mischief, so they can get themselves a second. Pushing on in, Goddess of Death for Bibiak to try and focus down Zetha. Zetha gets deleted here. Him off with the invisible boundary, sets them up nicely. Down goes Spider-Man. Rez brings back Zetha, but we see Spurs taken down. November with a Fate of Both Worlds with that God of Mischief as Prime took to the sky to try and burst on through. Not enough for any finishing blows here. But the card is still being stopped. Media M to try and take out the backline while Zetha is distracting. They are able to take down Prime. Zetha falls. Spurs swing it out. Not able to contest the point, as again, slow and steady, that cart keeps moving forward. Legit L. They know their big weakness is if they panic right now. They have the capability to go for counter pickups. They have the sustain. They're surviving currently. They just need to hold. Aya Magamoto into the back line, but they can't follow up. The damage is too zoned here. Media M for Silence takes out Rose fans, and that's going to remove a lot of the healing. Legit L, this push will be shut down. Zetha onto Strange in the last second here instead of the Venom, so Spurs have lost their team up, but they used that to portal onto the point so they could contest it at point 2 with 2.5 minutes remaining. Zetha's going to be slowly backing up. Down goes November. Zetha could swap back to the Venom when they go down here to rotate back onto the point quickly. In the meantime, Spurs is continuing shenanigans. Tries to go for a pick-off. Forced to swing away. Unable to find the final blow. Not been able to pull anyone off the map yet, but that does not mean they're not trying. Rosefan's going to be the target here. Very squishy. Here comes the spider. Absolutely obliterated by November there as Prime goes down. Rez will bring back Spurs as Bibiak takes to the sky. Goddess of Death. Invisible boundary to try and protect XO. Prime is taken out. Will return here. You can hear Spurs. They're around the side trying to take out a BRB. Off the Seonghoon. But Loki on the flank. The firing squad pull on in onto Bibiak, trying to take the 1v1. Astral Flock. November with the fate of both worlds with that god of mischief. Trying to take it. Aya Magamoto, Rip Asuko, blocking some of it and protecting their backline, keeping Bibiak up. Media M to try and tag on through. Silence will get November. Counter by Magamoto. Completely blocked out by Silence as Prime takes to the sky with the Goddess of Death. Going to get popped down, forced to back up, dropping low but tanking through. Rosefans fade of both worlds with the Seer coming in from Seonghoon. They're trying to burst on through all of that damage. Bibiak's doing a lot of work here, breaking the shields. The cart is creeping forwards. 3 meters to go. Spurs goes down Seonghoon. Behemoth is taken out. Zetha is low. Silence is low. And we're gonna see legit L. Slow and steady. Creep on in and grab point number 2. They now have 2 minutes to even up this score. These teams aren't giving an inch right now. Both of them giving everything they can. Zetha has brought out the Groot to try and sustain here. Map here once again. And Spurs. I'd love to see Spurs versus Necros. That would be super fun. Spectacular spin with the protection from Magneto, but it's not enough. Bibiak will fall. Silence capitalizing on the damage output, but Bibiak will be brought back by the BRB of Seonghoon. Zetha on this group, looking to try and split the team in 2 as Bibiak takes to the sky, trying to drop the damage. Invisible boundary. Zoning them out, finds Resta deep in the backline, tries to predict the dash, but finds nothing. In the meantime, though, their team got the value. Rosefans picks up a double there. Behemoth returns at the BRB, and Spurs has swapped to Magic. Realizing that we're on the last push here, they need a bit more sustain on the point, and Magic is so hard to pick off. Taking a little bit of damage. Going to start to move forward. Looking to try and contest Hanlu Road. On this Magneto. Looking to try and hollow anyone out here. Getting dropped very low, very quickly. Metallic Curtain, straggling Prison, trying to hold Media M to absorb the damage so they can tank on through. It gets eaten here. Counter Media M, November, keeping the team up with that fate of both worlds from the God of Mischief. Rosefans has held onto theirs. Spurs trying to burst through, but is taken out, returning at the BRB. Rosefans with their chain of the fate of both worlds. Prime up in the sky, dropped immediately. They got no value from that Goddess of Death. Taken down so quickly. Darkchild is available for Spurs. This might be their last-ditch effort. Onto the point. Darkchild for the armor to try and break it. That cart is creeping forward. Aya Magamoto comes out. Zetha gets stunned, but is tanking through this fight. Prime comes in with the Star-Lord to try and sustain. Invisible boundary at the ready, being held. Will be dropped onto the point to try and keep the team up. Bibiak and Seonghoon have been taken out as overtime, meaning we're in a rough situation here. If they lose Asuko, Portal is available, but no one is touching the point, and XO have cleaned them out. And in just 1.8 meters, we will see XOXO. Sorry, 1.1 meters. XOXO will claim map number 1, but that was close. The back and forth between these teams, Legit L responding to XOXO with a bit of a slow push. Slow and steady, maximum sustain. Try and delay, try and distract, but it was not enough. Zetha getting MVP there. 28 eliminations, only being beaten out by Prime. But they do get the most final hits with 14 here. Least amount of times getting eliminated. Seong Hun able to avoid the wrath of Spurs. Only getting taken out 6 times. No, sorry, Rez only getting taken out twice here. Able to avoid the wrath of everyone. So yeah, top eliminations. 29 for Prime. Least amount of times getting eliminated. Rezta for 2 final hits. Zetha with 14. And top damage. 28k. Rip Asuko. Just being beaten by Prime with 29k. When there's such a good distraction of Spurs coming in there with Zetha to help out, you're going to have a little bit more freedom to do the damage you want to do, and Prime making the most of it here. 29k, 13 final hits, same as Spurs, 1 less than Zetha. Top damage absorbed, just Rip Asuko. 47k damage blocks, just 2k more than Zetha, 3k more than Silence. Giving everything they could to try and hold the line for their team there. And it working pretty well, but not enough to bring it home. And top healing. 37k for Rezster. 4k more than Behemoth. And 8k more than Seong Hun. Keeping their team topped up very nicely here. Getting 3 final hits of their own. Seong Hun with 4. Doing some very solid work here. But that is just game number 1 of this lower bracket. That was so brutal and then turned into so close. XOXO absolutely dominated that attacking round. We saw that. The adjustment from Legit L shows just how good they are at trying to see what their opponents are running and adjusting. They realize that they were getting burst down, so they play a little bit safer. They bring out the Loki, they have the Rocket, who's hard to pick off in general. They keep Luna just because she's so strong, and they really heavily lean onto that Hela to try and hold the line here. It was a solid attempt. It was just right at the end, but they just did not have enough time to try and burst through this, and the adjustment from XOXO01 going into less of a dive burst composition and more of a sustained team fight composition, which they were not prepared for. Legit L did not have the strategy to deal with that. When you have a Magic, you have a Star-Lord, you have a Groot, there's just so many bodies, so much sustain on the board, all of them moving so fast, their team was not built for that. They got reacted on. And that's just how it works sometimes with the slow roll teams. For now, though, that is game number 1. I hope you're all enjoying. If you are, consider subscribing. We are almost at 5,000 subscribers, where I will start streaming again, including doing some bronze replays. If you are a bronze player and you would like me to commentate your replays, then drop one in the comments section. I'll absolutely do it. You just find the replay ID and just send that in the comments section, and I will absolutely be covering those when I hit 5k subs on Twitch and YouTube. I'll be trying a dual stream and seeing if that works out. So yeah, consider dropping in on that. Leaving a comment also helps boost in the algorithm so I can continue to make these videos. More views I get, the more AdSense I get, meaning I can afford to do this more. Because groceries are really expensive. I don't know if any of you have been watching the news, but everything is really expensive right now. And doing this is not like just yelling into YouTube microphone isn't the best career choice. I do it because I love it, but any support you guys can give me is appreciated. And the best way you can support is by becoming a member, because it is reliable and you're able to support me monthly without me having to worry about fluctuating AdSense. Shout out to our current members, Roshula, Doki Poki, and John, our longest running member. they help support every month. But if you can't afford to support monthly or a single-time donation with the thanks button, then the best things you can do are liking, commenting, and sharing, especially sharing the video, are huge of getting these videos up in the algorithm, and that means more views, which means it can turn into more ad revenue, which is also how you can help. Watching these videos without ad block on is big. I only put ads in between games, so you'll have an ad after I stop talking here if you're watching without ad set, so without ad block, so consider turning that off. And of course, watching with YouTube Red will help support as well, and that way you don't get ads, or YouTube Premium, whatever they call it. I don't remember. Either way, I hope you're all enjoying. I'm having a lovely time. I love doing this. I'm not sponsored yet. Comment professional email in the description. And I'm not currently working for NetEase. They haven't hired me to do any MRC stuff. Also, email in the description. Hit me up. I am purchasable. Let's get ready for map number 2 in this best of 5 series.
I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding from the words I spit. So sharp, so freezing, so cold. Behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tear you apart or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in ceilings. I just need a taste and my mind starts peeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. Got lust for change, I just love the feeling. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. And I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. Cause I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I don't lie at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I don't lie at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning.
And we are back with map number 2. XOXO01 are on the left, Legit L on the right, and XO are on defense and are 1 map up as we head to Spider Islands for our second map. Starting off, Adam Warlock going to be taken out, as is the Wolverine, and Magic will be protected. Now they've shown it, Legit L may have been considering a removal, but they just continue to take that away and protect the Lunar Snow for themselves. She is just the best strategist right now. And there it is. This is what happened last time. 1 Venom appearance from Zetha, and immediately it is starting to get removed. And XO, they start to target onto Bibiak's target picks here, taking out the Namorn. Prime, they've shown this before, that little sleeper Punisher pick. It's unexpected. It's surprising a lot of the time. And they have used it to great effect in the past. Potentially a triple duelist composition. Incredibly hard to do, but the one time, or like the couple times we've seen it done well, including from teams like Virtus Pro, have been with this Magic as the second, basically, frontliner. It's almost never happens, but we have seen it before. Will they head out with this? Punisher making out of base, and Spurs. Looks like Spurs thinking about starting off a Spider-Man. No, going to stick with the Magic. So they are going to go for this triple duel. Nope, there we go. We're swapping again. Silence, bringing out the Magneto. So they're going to keep it as a 2-2-2. 2 Vanguards, 2 Duelists, and 2 Strategists. This is sensible. There's no reason to play something that, like, statistically isn't good when you can play it a little bit safe. When you're only 1 map up, it is risky to do. I'm going to see Hunlu Road busted out the Groot here. Asuko activated the team up, allowing November to swap off of that Scarlet Witch and onto the Winter Soldier. But they get a couple seconds off that Magneto team up, which is heavy damage output here. Try and help him break the front line. But we have seen how well XO do with this Punisher before. They will lean heavily on making sure it's protected and allowing them to flank. You basically have the pocket support of the Invisible Woman to try and focus down here. Smoke Bomb and Prime playing very far forward right now, just really trying to keep him zoned away. Sees Rose fans up on the high ground as the Rocket. It's Young Hoon this time. Usually it's Rose fans who's playing the Rocket, but this time it will be Seong Hoon. November trying to get a little bit of focus. Ammo invention you can hear over there from Prime. Cook does not find anyone. Ammo invention of their own. Attack speed and the ability to not reload, to try and burst through. Here comes the Seer with the final judgment to trap them in spawn and melt them as they retreat here. Finds an elimination onto Seong Hoon. Oh, a little bit of stutter. This does happen sometimes. It's because we're observing onto a different region. It sometimes does not like the fact that I'm casting from a whole nother continent, basically. Oh, no, I've just disconnected. All right, cool. We're going to go fix that. I'll be back in a moment. What timer are we at? I'll work it out. See you all in a moment. We'll return back into the game. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Now, you will see that we are a bit paused here. Now, to quickly explain what just happened, for some reason, this replay in particular, and also some of the other Asian replays, but definitely this one, have started to absolutely chug when it comes to actually, you know, loading them, which makes my job extremely difficult. I have worked out a solution, which is basically to play the videos and then pause them for a long period of time in order to basically let them buffer old YouTube style. None of the other regions are having this issue currently, just the Asia replays. It's, I assume, related to the chugging that we had in Season 0, and now it is happening. But I just wanted to let you know, if you noticed a bit of a weird transition, that's why, because it's a new day. It took me a day to figure this out. But we have fixed it, I believe, because before it was basically just kicking me out of the replay every time. Sometimes it just says replay expired. I messaged tech support, they never got back to me. But yeah, it does mean that we may have to do some creative editing in future games if this issue pops up again. But we are back to essentially where we left off, and I am going to hit play and send us back on in. I'm just going to edit these together. So, let's head back in. Zeta keeping the zoning going. Prime continuing to just rain down pain. Finds Groot on the flank, but it's going to wrap around so that they don't get caught out with the Groot walls. Media M coming in from Rip Asuko to try and break through here as Ziva takes it down one. Hanlu Road is down, but Prime gets wiped as well by November, who's trying to turn this round. Legit L trying to make their way back into this series by breaking through. Kraken Impact looking for any targets. They're all very split right now, making it almost impossible for a reset, but they are likely going to find the wipe in general. Zetha falling again. Good knockback with the force push, but Behemoth will fall. Zetha finally goes down. They're still being delayed by Rocket, but Soldier's Fist will shut it down as finally, with 2 minutes to go, Legit L will break the containment. XOXO01 currently 1-0 up in this series. The best of 5 coming in. Portal way behind, far in the back line, so they can go for a full wraparound and cut off some reinforcements here. Silence trying to hold the line, shield up the team as they push on into Legit L to try and drag them off the point. Spurs coming in with the magic, takes out the BRB. No resurrections this time. Comes on in, trying to go to the back line. Would love to take out Rocket here. Takes a little bit of damage, forced to dash away, picks up a map heal. In the meantime, Hanlu Road taking a lot of damage right now, but is still trying to brawl. Up on the high ground, has Eye of Agamotto, was spotted. Just going to drop on down, not going to drop the Eye of Agamotto, going to get focused down here, taking a lot of damage. but it's still tagging through as Final Judgment comes on in for Prime. Media M eaten and blocked there completely. Fate of both worlds to try and tank on through, and it will be enough. Prime unable to get a pickup there, gets taken out. And Legit L starting to get some momentum on the board here, trying to bring themselves back into this series. Behemoth falls once again. Rose fans, BRB up on the rooftop, so it's a little bit harder to take out. The Spurs making their way back in to reinforce. See if they can create a stop at point number 1. BRB also on the high ground. You can hear November. There was a bionic hook coming out there, not able to find a target. Prime also swapping over to a Winter Soldier. Moving away from the Punisher here. Trying to meld on through. Darkchild coming in for Spurs to try and break through. Gets stunned quickly, but woken up. Ayabagamotto comes on in, sidestep to try and break through. No one getting stunned down for either team right now as they sustain on through this fight. And that Darkchild not actually finding a lot here, but Zetha is held onto their Ayabagamotto, gets bionic hooked in, shielded by Magneto so that they can try and contest. Big pressure onto Bibiak, who is still on this Mantis. Trying to get the maximum damage output here. See coming out from Rez. There's the Ayabagamotto. Finds no one, blocked beautifully, but it's still going to be enough as Asuko, Bibiak, and everyone else falls as XOXO01 clean out at point number 1. 0 points, 109 meters, and 76 centimeters. Heading into round number 2. Once again, we're seeing the Spider-Man being hovered. But without Venom, do they choose to go with it? Potentially not. Could be sticking with the magic here. We haven't seen a lot of Black Panther in Season 1 because it did get just a little bit outpaced by the magic, by the Spider-Man. So we haven't really been seeing it come in. And of course, Iron Fist is also here. We've only really seen one team bring in the Iron Fist, and it has been resoundingly unsuccessful so far. Season 1 has not been the play for the Iron Fist.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
Legit L currently not picking one of their characters. There we go, November. Bringing in the Winter Soldier once again. And as such, we're going to see Hardlu Road bringing out the thing here. Excuse me. Give them a little bit of big lockdown defense here. They make their way down. Zetha looking at the Groot. They make their way up to the high ground. We do not see the Spider-Man like we said. Goodbye, Zetha. Nicely done, Bibiak. Bibiak now on their 3rd role in this series. Has played damage, strategist, and now playing Vanguard. Really mixing it up. Gonna start to push on in. Portal coming out. They're just holding the high ground for the moment. Hunley Road pushing forward. Trying to get a little bit of lockdown onto those frontline members. Gets absolutely melted by Prime there with that ammo invention. And a fantastic bionic hook. XOXO. In 1 minute and a bit faster than Legit L are able to crush on through. Making their way towards that point number 1. Now, will we see Legit L potentially mirror the strategy here? Yes, we do. Portaling in for the entire team to make their way up to the high ground to try and hold this. Portaling first. They can always swap to running characters and just try and piece onto the point as fast as possible as Kraken Impact comes out from Prime. Looking for a reset. Can't find any eliminations though. Rose fans will fall, but it's not a reset. Bardic Hook finds Magneto. Gets the pickup with the Soldier's Fist and with the Strange backing up. We are seeing XOXO01 cruising on in. And is there anyone for Legit L to try and stop this? They don't have Strange. Captain America is picked to try and rush the point, but it is too late. XOXO01 cruise on in and will take point number 1. And as such, are 2-0 in this best of 5. Prime picking up MVP. lead held strongly. This is a lower bracket game. These two teams, their lives are on the line here. And they are just being forced to brawl for this. But XOXO01 are just fully in control here. Let's look at these statistics. 13 eliminations, 7 of which were final hits, while also topping the damage chart by a solid 7k. At least a little bit of that was just due to the attrition that a Punisher does offer. And only getting taken out twice. Tied the least amount of times between Prime, Rester, Behemoth, November, and Rose fans. We've already talked about top damage, but top damage blocked by 1k, keeping it quite close. Hanlu Road tried to give their team that extra sustain, only getting 23k, but that's still 1k more than Zetha. Those numbers are all quite low because, of course, the game went very quickly. And top healing. Easily going to be in favor of XOXO01. 12k and 15k. Getting a couple extra thousand on their opponents. And this is a tough situation, as XOXO01 are now 1 game away from moving on in the lower bracket and keeping their tournament dreams alive. Will they make it, or will we see the beginnings of the reverse sweep? Find out after this short break.
To fight, to die, and this is my game to play, to claim a brand new name, and I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm a bit nervous that I might screw everything up that I've ever done, but what's the point of living if you ain't having fun? I guess I'll try this, try that, might miss, gotta find what I'm good at. I guess I look here, look there, over where am I scared, where am I at? I gotta make it in this life, whatever makes me happy, know I'm doing things right. Sipping in the summer on a goose and Sprite, or find a nightclub for the end of the night.
The lower bracket semi-final continues here as XOXO01 are 1 win away from making their way on to that lower bracket final, meaning that they would be guaranteed at minimum 3rd place. Oh god, not again. Okay, we're going to do this and just give it a moment to load. I'm really having... Yep, that's the issue. That's the issue. One moment, everybody.
Listen to what they give. Don't ask questions, shut your lid. Yeah, don't ask questions, shut your lid. I need to run away from this and go get off the grid.
Okay, I think I got it. I think I got it. This is I am now fighting to get these replays out to y'all. This is difficult now. This is starting to become really difficult to like get through these. And it's also like almost tripling the amount of time I'm having to spend on each one, which is not ideal. Let's talk about our bans. Also, you'll notice the music's gone. That's because I basically had to let it play and buffer for a long time. It's now every replay, so that is great. I also had to reload the replay like several times in order to even get it working. It just did not even want to connect several times there. So, let's talk about what we got here. We got Adam Warlock, Luna Snow, banned out by XOXO. A Legit L took out Spider-Man and Wolverine. There we go, we got music back. This does mean that Zetha has been given their Venom back, and while they do not have the Spider-Man to team up with, that is still a terrifying concept. Game number 1 really showed some fear in that. Looks like we're going to be looking at, once again, another Winter Soldier play with the return of Magic. Legit L. They are sticking with a more just standard composition here, going with a triple strategist. The Mantis is interesting. I am a little concerned with how that's gonna, how effective that will be. It does have a little bit of anti-dive with that slumber, of course.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3,
But perhaps a Loki
1.
with that regeneration domain could have been the more sustainy choice to avoid the dives. Already jump pad up to the top, meaning Zetha forced to back away. Sorry, that was a Coca levitation as Rip Asuko came in there highly aggressively. Putting on a bit of pressure, up to the high ground, trying out to the Winter Soldier. Soldier's fist are pulled back as Prime gets absolutely bodied in this fight, but is able to back up. Legit L on about to be eliminated if they can't turn this round. Ammo intervention to try and bring this back and melt through that front line. Barnacook not found, but they Soldier's fist instead and are able to take down Asuko. Sending in the shots. Trying to get just onto any of the backline members. Spurs is taken down by Bibiak on this Mantis. Damage boost onto the Winter Soldier and just sending shots down range. We've talked about just how much damage Mantis can actually do sometimes. And already we're seeing that here. Red's getting focused down, but there's the pressure coming in from the Venom. But traded out here. They seem to have got some pretty good targeting. Big pressure onto November, who's able to tank on through, though. Rez with the Seer to keep the team up. Media M does not find the target. Rez brings back Zetha, but Spurs has also fallen. Hardly Road taken out. Kraken impact. November trying to reset as well as Prime. Neither one able to find the finishing blow, though, so no resets for either side. Zetha returning into the fight, has the frenzied arrival and the feast from the abyss into the backline, trying to take out the strategists. They can remove the healing. They're going to be able to focus down that front line very effectively. Ayamoto going to be coming out. Force push to keep them away. Prime is focused down, though, but they will get out of there as Meteor M not finding the target from Silence. Biona Cook to lock them down. November capitalizing here. Pulled on in, holding the line. Takes out Rocket. Onto Prime. Great shot. And November picks up another one here. Portal coming in to keep this push going, to keep it held, to delay. Darkchild giving them a lot of extra stain. Silence is dropped low, will get healed up, so they're not going to get picked off and not going to become a reset for November, who is taken down. Asuko falls, and we're starting to see Legit L being eaten off the point. They've still got a minute to go, though. This is not over. They wait for the BRB to be used before they go back in and pick up yet another elimination. That's smart. That puts the BRB on a longer cooldown. Legit L also is going to be staggering Bibiak, making sure that they do not return to the fight anytime soon. Zetha up high in this floor. Technically counts as falling when you're standing on it, meaning you can hold ultimates pretty effectively here. Zetha gets slept as usual, but still tagging through. Bibiak, Soul Rejuvenation, gonna get out of danger here. We're gonna see Legit L pushing in, and XOXO kind of going for a bit of a delay strategy here, just dancing in and out of the fight, not hyper-committing. There's a symbiotic resistance, an extra 1,000 health with that shield, but they are alone. Invisible Boundary coming in to keep them up, and Behemoth is being targeted down. Silence returning to the fight, November getting taken down. Media M directly onto Zetha. You can't resilience that. It's up to Behemoth now to hold the line as no one else is here, and the rest of the team are in fact just backing up. They're going to let Legit L take point number one. And Legit L getting a point on the board. Trying to keep their tournament run alive. If they can win this game, then they can try and begin the reverse sweep. But XO, that threat, every point that Legit L does not take here is an extra slice in XOXO's million cut elimination here. November gets the pickup onto Behemoth. Silence is also down. Tries to crack it back sideways here to take out Zetha. Bibiak will get the final hit, and the backliners are the only people left. It's all buying time. Kraken impact. Prime is just going to try and solo this by the looks of it. Getting healed up by Rocket, but there's just not enough. Rez falls. And Legit L, the push continues. Looking to try and turn this round. do we see a swap around from XOXO? Because right now, Legit L seem to have their number, and they're just continuing to run it in over and over again. Darkchild into the backline, into the invisible boundary. Means it's going to basically disable the majority of the damage that can come out here, but they're still going to try and give it their all. Diving in deep, spreading that damage as the invisible boundary ends to try and take out more. Bibiak gets revived, but November and Young Hood also fall. Asuko is down, leaving just Bibiak to try and flee. That is going to be a team wipe with 1 minute to go. Legit L are running out of time. They have Portal. They can hold on to it, though. This is easily within walking distance. No need to call the Uber when the store is down the road. Doing a lot of damage. Trying to take him down. Feast from the Abyss, getting some great damage output, but they're tagging through. Aya Magamoto pushing on through, but the shielding is too much. They finally take out a him of and Prime. Legit L once again capitalizing. They activate the cart. They're holding it, meaning that they have an opportunity for overtime if they all stay up here. Asuko will be the first to fall, but the rest of the team is creeping on in, getting their way to the cart. 10 seconds remaining. Silence getting zoned out. Forced up to the high ground, getting healed. Rez is there with them. In comes Zetha once again with the C. Hanlu Road helps melt them. Silence is focused down, and we are gonna see Legit L keep that push going. Every single meter, every single point matters. Magic is in the backline, stepping disc to get out of danger. They're trying to hold it, trying to delay with 2 meters to go. It's all in or nothing right now. XOXO01 are gonna try and break them here. Pushing on in. Media M from Silence. This could be good. November completely point blank takes them out. And we're starting to see Legit L falling 1 by 1. November's all that's left goes down, and XOXO hold it at 126 meters, 91 centimeters. Way over halfway. But now, it's time for XOXO01. If they can beat that distance, Legit L's run is over. Legit L, if you have any more tricks left, now is the time to bring them out. There is literally no other opportunity if you do not win this round. No pressure. We are heading in. Legit L just running the same strategy here. That massive sustain did seem to do quite well for them, and Zetha currently hovering on the Doctor Strange. Maybe abandoning the Venom for this dive potential, or just starting off on a portal and then swinging in as Venom. Might go for a strategy. We've seen them use a couple times of splitting focus, giving the team the backline engage and then using Venom as a sort of harasser to dive on in when the enemy team is distracted with the rest of your team.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3.
But it was also a fast rollout. We'll see if that is what they go for. Zetha going to start portaling them up. Is Asuko going to counter portal? No, they are not. So here we go. Zetha up to the high ground. And then back into base. Let the team go through the portal and swap to Venom. Rotate in. And they're going to try and engage while the enemy team is distracted with their own team. And you can see just how slowly XOXO01 are taking this push because they have to wait for Zetha to approach. But now they've got a two-pronged attack coming in here. Trying to get out to the backline, already focusing onto Rocket. Magic diving in as well. These two work so well together, but Spurs taken down. Revives at the BRB of Rez. Use the narrow hallway for the maximum rocket healing capabilities. Pushing on forwards. November and Asuko dropping a bit low, but they're also being healed up. Team's focus is split here. Great pick up onto Silence, though. And Legit L putting on quite a solid defense right now. Prime trying to turn it around in their favor. Bionic hook into the soldier. Jewel takes them down, though. Kraken Impact for November. If they can get Venom, that's a reset as well. Looks like the answer to that will be yes, but too late for a reset. And legit L, we've called it before, slow and steady. Taking yet another fight, holding the point. It's not flashy, it's not full team wipes, but they are getting the eliminations. Trying to chase down Magic. Rocket back here as well. 2 members on the flank here. And this seems to be the strategy of XOXO01. Just be everywhere. Portal coming into the backline. Media M with almost no health gets a double! That could be their opportunity, and they got res, meaning there will be no res. Spurs taken down. Legit L have once again smashed through the front line. And XOXO01 have yet to get even a single third. Legit L, the hope and dreams of that reverse sweep are still alive. Absolutely incredible play. BRB is set up. Seonghun makes their way up to the high ground. Keep the team healed. Keep the pressure in. Into the backline. Trying to get onto Bibiak. The Seer coming in. Prime trying to make the most of it with the ammo adventure. Gets pushed out of it, but is still tagging through. Invisible Boundary shuts it down for the moment. Great bionic hook. Trying to focus onto Magneto. Takes them down with the Kraken Impact. Looks for more. Asuko! That was brutal! Meteor M and Kraken Impact in simultaneous symphony. Takes down Seonghun. No stopping them this time. Kraken Impact for one more go against Hanlu Road, meaning we keep going! Oh my god, it's a massacre as Prime gets a double, looks for more, can't reach Asuko. They'll get the elimination, but it's not a reset. And XOXO01, they found the opening. They smash on through. And that cart is now moving 126 meters, 91 centimeters. The finish line is there at basically point number 2. All XO have to do now is to bring it home. Asuko has moved on to Venom to add a little bit of backline harassment of their own. Great knockback. Darkchild coming in for Spurs to try and take out some of these defenders. Not finding a lot of targets here. Will be forced to back away. Asuko trying to hold the line here. Media M for Hanlu Road. Absorbed. Tagged on through here. Ultimate economy pretty equal between the two teams. Zetha dropped extremely low, but will make it back to their own rocket. In the meantime, you can see here, Hanlu Road up on the high ground is very outnumbered and very isolated here. They're going to get taken down. That's a big stagger, considering that the cart is this close to the end. Diving in deep. Zetha trying to keep him busy. Feast from the abyss to try and grab the Winter Soldier. A lot of damage coming in. Secondary Feast from the Abyss. Trying to take down Asuko, who's buying time, keeping the team delayed. Invisible Boundary comes on out from Rose fans to try and hold the line. November has to hold this. They have Kraken Impact, but they're going to get taken down. And once again, Prime is activated. The sleeper agent is here, and they're wiping them off the board. And with every elimination, the hopes and dreams of Legit L are disintegrating. Kraken Impact, last-ditch effort. November falls. Hanlu Road can't reach. And that is GG. XOXO01 take a 3-0. And as such, they will be moving on to the lower bracket finals to play against either New Moon or Need Sponsor. An incredible matchup. We saw an attempt at a recovery. Legit L gave everything they could. But this time, they're not able to reach the heights of third place like they got to last season. They're going to be taken out in fourth. Not able to bring it home. And XOXO01, A little bit of a lesser known team. We did not have a lot of these players in Season 0. They show up and are able to claim at minimum 3rd place by getting this far. They will be moving on. They now are 1 series away from the Grand Finals. All they have to do is to beat the loser of the upper bracket finals. That's it. That'll be tomorrow's game, by the way, the upper bracket finals. Let's have a look at some of these statistics. 29 eliminations for Prime, 19 of which were final hits. Massive damage output, 23k. They do get out-damaged by November, who really tried to put the team on their back, who got 17 eliminations, 11 of which were final hits. Really breaking the line here. Top damage blocked, 35k between 2 members. In fact, it comes down to about 40 difference. 42 is the amount of damage blocked difference between Rip Asuko and Silence, but Silence will take it here. And top healing, 28k. Huge work by Rezta. Doing as best as they could. Bibiak showing the value of the Mantis as sort of a pseudo damage dealer here. 16k damage. Keeping up with Asuko, Silence, Zetha. Even with Spurs. Showing the value of the composition. But it's really in the eliminations that we'll start to see the talk. It's pretty close between the two, but Behemoth and Rezta 3 and 4 times getting eliminated. Compare that to the strategists. On the side of Legit L. 5 for Rose fans. Not bad. That's kind of in line. Seong Hun, though, 7 and Bibiak 8. They just weren't able to stay on the board. Even with all that extra healing, Spurs and Zetha just applied too much pressure, and Prime was able to get resets onto those very squishy members. And that is going to be it. That is our best of 3. I apologize for all the technical issues. I really do. I am sorry. I wish I had an easier way to do this, but unfortunately, you're going to have some pretty disjointed breaks in the future, because I'm just going to have to do like the weird pausing trick to like load as much of the video as possible before I start doing this now, which is like tripling the amount of time I spend on each video, which is a nightmare. But we're going to have to deal. I said I'll make a video a day. I said I'll bring you a video every day, and I will bring you all of these top 8 games. And I keep my promises. For now, though, remember to like, comment, subscribe, become a member, support the channel. Sorry about that. Support the channel so you can help me keep growing. Become a member like Roshula, Doki Pokey, and John, who help keep this channel alive. Drop a super chat, a little donation, hit that thanks button so you can help support the channel that way. But of course, liking, commenting, and subscribing is the big thing. We are less than 100 subscribers away at the time of me recording this from 5k, where I'll be starting streaming again, which I'm sure will super help this video loading issue. That's going to be really helpful. Hopefully it's just Asia that is causing this problem now. We'll see, because I've tested my internet and it is fine. Super helpful. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you for what is hopefully a less stressful series of the upper bracket finals tomorrow.